discrimination and accusing the Ugandan president of breaking a promise not to enact the law. Now, the new anti-homosexuality bill may have upset many, especially those from the Western community, but according to the president of Uganda, it is the only way to deal with the moral decay in the society. Ruth Mulandi, K24 Evening Edition, Nairobi.
He has hit headlines across the world following his decision to assent into law the controversial anti-gay bill that imposes stiff penalties for homosexuals in Uganda. But even as citizens there celebrate the move, President Yoweri Museveni's government is now facing repercussions as countries that had been opposed to the law are making good their threat to cut links. Norway and Denmark have announced withdrawal of aid to Uganda, terming the move as unacceptable. Norway is now reviewing the distribution of the entire $66 million it has been sending to Uganda. But that is not all. The United States of America also announced plans to review aid to Uganda, which amounts to $400 million in a year. This country is criticizing the move by Uganda as one of a country that does not belong in the modern age.
We will continue to urge the government of Uganda to repeal this abhorrent law and to advocate for the protection of the universal human rights of LGBT persons in Uganda and around the world. What I can tell you about steps the United States might take in response is that we are undertaking a review of our relationship with Uganda in light of this decision.
But Museveni remains unperturbed.
The outsiders cannot dictate to us. This is our country, this is our society, it is our future, it is not anybody's future. And the outsiders will have to live with us, or if they don't want, they take their aid and we shall. Uganda is very rich, we don't need aid. In fact, aid is part of the problem.
President Museveni's decision continues to be celebrated not just in Uganda, but in various other African states. Kenya is now pushing their legislators to follow suit.
Wabunge wetu wa Kenya wasisinzie, wamfuate Museveni anavyoongea. Museveni amesimama na msimamo huo, pia ni huo msimamo uendelee na wabunge wa Kenya.
There is nowhere that marriage between a man and a man has been blessed.
Kiharu MP Irongo Kangata says he is already working on a bill that would impose similar penalties.
Kuna watu wengi ngambo, hata wakubwa wameoa mabibi. Huku wanasema vijana waoe wanaume wengine. Yes, yaanze kwanza, alafu na sisi tufuate.
Juu si haki kwa binadamu. Juu hakuna vile mwanamume na mwanamume mtatembea pamoja, na wanawake wamejaa pia. So it's not right at all.
However, the gay and lesbian community is up in arms, condemning the move as one that infringes on their rights, and they have their defendants in the society as well.
Tunaweza kuwa sisi wenyewe tunaadhibu, tunaua, tunafanya mabaya kwa binadamu wenzetu ambao chinda zao hatuelewi.
Many more countries are threatening to take action to protest the move by Uganda. Esther Kahumbi, The Big Question.
The courtroom had been packed for this case, a challenge brought by rights groups, academics, journalists, and MPs. And on Friday, the Constitutional Court ruled in their favor. The judges found there was no quorum when Uganda's parliament passed the law in February. Uganda's parliament consists of 378 members, and for a bill to be passed, at least 1/3 should be present.
The Speaker is mandated to ascertain whether there is a quorum when a question is put to vote. A question was put to vote and the Speaker did not ascertain. Simple.
The court's decision was welcomed by the gay community.
Having this ruling today, it shows that the justice system in Uganda is very independent, but it also gives us more work to do as a community, because we may scrape the law, but it doesn't mean that the communities we live in are going to change. So we have a lot of work to do to change the mindsets of the Ugandans who have been indoctrinated with hate and sin and homophobia.
But the ruling has disappointed many Ugandans.
An issue like this, even if you are a judge and you know in this country that is not the culture, why is it that you as a judge who has read books allows your country go down like that?
Like many African countries, Uganda is deeply conservative and homosexuality is publicly abhorred. Homosexual acts were already illegal, but the new law was even stricter. The ruling comes days to the US-Africa summit, and those in favor of the anti-gay law question why it was quashed hurriedly. Religious leaders argue that the judges could have made such a decision to please the international community ahead of the upcoming summit. Isabel Nakiria, CCTV, Kampala.
Chairs by senators and governors, Kenyan lawmakers have supported Uganda's passing into law of the anti-homosexuality bill. The MPs criticized the apparent soft-handedness with which homosexuality is being handled here in Kenya. As KTN's Joy Doreen Vera reports, the members of parliament say until the law is amended, gayism or promotion of such activities remain illegal.
Kenyan legislators have criticized the laxity police has shown in arresting the gay community openly demonstrating on the streets. The lawmakers are bitter about what they call a daring promotion of gay activities in Kenya.
In a penal code and the act that anybody who found doing gayism is entitled for imprisonment for not less than 14 years. So we fail to understand why these things are happening in Kenya and our government is keeping quiet.
We are saying no, because gayism is not African, it's against our culture, against our tradition, against all the religious belief.
Last weekend, U.S. President Barack Obama warned the Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni that he risked souring relations with the United States if he signed the anti-gay bill into law. But President Museveni is now being backed by Kenyan legislators who have told him not to give in to the pressure from the United States.
We are very happy. It is his right. It is the right of that country to come up with such laws. And we want to tell Obama to back away. And in fact, on that account, Obama is not even welcome in Kenya.
President Museveni, who in a letter earlier declined to assent to the anti-gay bill passed by his parliament, reversed his decision after 14 scientists made a presentation to him at a recent caucus of his NRM party. He now says he will sign the bill but has not put a date to it.
Normal people with abnormal behavior. Now, if the authorities here give me their signed statements, my historical job is finished. I will sign the bill.
If President Museveni signs the anti-homosexuality bill that was first tabled in 2009, homosexual acts will be punishable with a death penalty. And the legislators there say they are being lenient to the gay people there.
Of course we've said we are tolerant. That's what we're saying. We are not slaughtering them. That's what we're saying. Let them come and we help them to come out of this unfortunate situation.
In January, Nigeria's President Goodluck Jonathan outlawed gay marriage, public displays of same-sex relationships, and belonging to gay groups with the passing of a law that attracts a 14-year jail sentence. Anti-gay laws across Africa have since drawn a firestorm of criticism from rights groups and Western leaders. Joy Doreen Bira, KTN Prime.
The international reaction to President Yoweri Museveni's signing of the Ugandan anti-homosexuality bill into law on Monday has been swift. The law banning gay unions with life imprisonment has attracted strong international reactions. However, religious leaders in Kenya say a law to enhance gay crackdown is an absolute necessity and it should be emulated in Kenya.
It is important the moment we talk that even the country Kenya can follow the steps of what Uganda has been doing and has been done actually, because by doing that we will protect our society. By doing that we will clean our society from all types of immoralities. By doing that, it means that we are following what the Almighty created us. Almighty created us male and a female.
Uganda signed the anti-homosexuality bill defying international concerns on Monday and is now staring at an open global rejection for its decision to consign gays to life in jails. With stiffer conditions attached to international defiance, Denmark, Norway and Netherlands and the United States have all announced the withholding of aid to Uganda following the signing of the homosexuality bill into law. The US government was clearer on its aid threat against Uganda. Washington warned the gay law would complicate relations with Uganda. Kampala receives $400 million in annual aid from Washington.